If you're going to install the ProStitcher on your Infinity, you'll take off your display. You have two cables that came with that. You'll take the cable that's the power cable and put that aside. This cable you will still use. So we'll put that, and this is the cable that you'll install with your ProStitcher. The next thing we want to do after we've taken off that display is we want to put on the bracket for the ProStitcher. And there are 4 holes right here that we'll put our 3mm hex screws in. And using the 3mm hex wrench that came with your machine, you will place these screws in these holes right here. We'll just align those up and go ahead and screw those in. And I've actually adjusted this so that this is down so that I can get those screws in easier. And our 4th screw, and we're finished attaching that. And now we can go ahead and just raise that up and slide our computer in. Now your computer may look different than this, but they all have the same program on it. So we're going to go ahead and raise that up and slide this in, center it. Then we can plug in the power cable into the side here and into the back. But before I plug this into the back, I can actually slide that down. So it'll go into the back here. I am going to plug this one in to the side and around to the back. And then take this one and plug that in. That's your power cable. And from there, we'll raise that up, and when I turn on my machine, I'll be able to then turn on the ProStitcher. With the ProStitcher tablet mounted onto your Infinity, we're ready to use the ProStitcher. Now, we see the ProStitcher screen, but where is the display screen for the Infinity? There's a bar up here. We press that bar, and we have, this will close it out. And this bar here is our console bar. We have our keyboard, our on-screen keyboard, and we can close that out. This is where we go to get the Infinity display. And then we can use all the functions in the Infinity. If we want to go from there to the ProStitcher, we can go ahead and press the ProStitcher. This is our Art and Stitch button, and this is our camera button. So for now, we're going to use the ProStitcher, and I want to close out the console. Close that out, X that out. A couple of features that the ProStitcher has with the Infinity are, as we open up Design, and we'll bring in a design, open it up, and bring in a block design. I have the design there. Now I'm going to go to Area. And you'll notice here on your 2 corner, it has a star on it, and on your multi-point, it has a diamond on it. These match up with the star and the diamond on your handles. So this 2 corner, if I press the handlebar with the star, it will give me my first mark to mark. And you can see that. I press that, and I can move it over and press it again. So no longer do I have to push these 2 buttons, I can use my handles. Now the star, maybe I have that designated to be also my tie-off. But while I'm using the area function, this overrides that tie-off function. Okay, we're going to clear this, and the same thing with the multi-point. I can press my handle on my right, the diamond on the right handle, and continue to press that and do a multi-point area. The other function that is new with the ProStitcher on the Infinity is to go into freehand. And I'm going to go ahead and clear that design And actually we'll go back to area and clear the area. Go back to freehand. And if I want to do some freehand quilting, I have the record with the star and the mark with the diamond. So I'm going to do free motion and maybe create some design here. It turns my crosshairs to purple, so I'm ready with freehand and a total flow, free flow there. It's really nice and smooth. I can press it here or I can press it on my handle, my left handle. So as I press that, it will start to record any design that I want to use. Press it to turn it off, to stop it from recording. Okay, so there I have my new design. With the mark, I'll clear that out. No, we don't want to save that design. With the mark, I can use my right handle, the diamond on my right handle, and if I'm doing some stitch in the ditch and I want to mark it rather than using a ruler to stitch it, I will go ahead and press that as I go along. And it's totally creating my own design. And then I can clear that out when I'm finished. But I can stitch that just like it is there because it's exactly positioned where I maybe want it to quilt on the quilt. I've drawn a box on my fabric and I want to mark this using my mark to create an exact stitching line along here. So what I first want to do is I actually want to turn on my laser, my needle laser light. So I'm going up to my bar at the top, get that to turn on, go to Infinity Display and go to my settings, to my laser, and I want to turn on my needle laser. Now you can see the laser light and that shows where the needle is going to enter the quilt. So as I move my machine over and I want to close out this display and go back to my ProStitcher, and I'm going to use my mark function, but I'm going to use my handles. I can use it here or my handle, my right handle. So I'm going to put that laser light right at that corner and I'm going to here or here. I'll go ahead while my hands are on the handlebar, mark, come up to this corner, mark, and I'm going to refresh this so you can actually see that. I'm going to move it along, and this is not a completely straight line, so I want to make sure that I mark it along the way so that it is precise as it stitches. And we'll move that all the way over to the corner. Come down to this corner, and this is really inaccurate here. As we go along, we're just marking that. And with that laser light, it's giving me that accuracy without having to drop my needle into the fabric to make sure that it's accurate. Now I'll refresh that, and you can see that is what I marked out, and I can stitch that out and it'll stitch perfect, as perfect as the quilt was sewn.